listening to The Sports Nuts.
And good morning and welcome to another edition of the Saturday Sports Show. My name, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ralph Williams. I am the host of the Saturday Sports Show. And yeah, what do you want to talk about? Let me talk to you. All right, we got a lot to talk about today. BRYAN PETTIT is off today. He was having some technical issues. Leo Haggerty also is off today. He had a health procedure this week, and will be back with us next week. So it's me, Ralph Williams, along with PENSMAN Sports from PENSMAN Sports and the Sports Nuts Network, and we're also live here on the Sports Nuts Network on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, X, and we're also live on Tiger Stripes Media, PENSMAN Sports, RW Media Productions as well. And we're also, this show will be uploaded on the 95.5 KFCE in Terrell, Texas, as well as the Tigers, TigerNation.com, Texas, Oklahoma, and Missouri. So, and as well. So I just want to let everyone know that as well. Zilla is on here. He says, guess who's feeling good today? All right, there you are. Well, thank you. I'm glad you're feeling good. I want to wish everybody out there, every sweetheart out there, a happy Valentine's Day. And I hope that everyone is enjoying a safe, very safe Valentine's Day as well. And speaking of Leo, here is Leo. Leo, how are you today?
I'm hanging in there, Ralph. I may sound a little bit like Elmer Fudd, but bear with me.
Elmer Fudd. That's all right, Leo. That's okay. I got you. So, all right. Somebody named Corn on a Cob here says hello. Hello to Corn on a Cob. So, speaking of that, I had corn on a cob this week. So just to let everyone know that as well. All right, guys, let's get started with introductions. Start with you, PENSMAN. How are you? Good morning. Happy Valentine's Day to you and your sweetheart. And also, I want to wish everybody an early happy President's Day coming up this Monday. Who's on our presidents on Monday. All right, go ahead, PENSMAN.
Good morning, everybody. And if I uploaded some shorts of the Winter Olympics on the hockey, so keep tuning into that. Appreciate it. So that's what I've been up to. I've been posting. So that's what's going on, everybody. Leo, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you. All right, Leo Haggerty. Go ahead, Leo. Amped Up Sports. How are you, Leo? Tell everybody about yourself and good morning and how are you?
Well, let me deal with the bad news. As you all know, I've had throat cancer and 33 days of radiation. Well, the biggest fear they have with radiation up that high is that's going to rot your teeth, and it rotted all my top teeth out.
Ooh.
So I have all my top teeth, I think it was 12 of them, because I lost a few playing football, which happens, extracted on Thursday, and I have a partial plate in. The problem with radiation is it takes anywhere from 6 to 12 months for it to heal completely so you can get a permanent one in there. So hopefully I'll get used to this. And if you hear me say rascally rabbit every now and then, bear with me. Hey, check us out on YouTube, Instagram, still posting. It is, if you want a couple laughs, listen to it. But like we say, if you're interested in sports and nothing but sports, Amped Up Sports is all sports.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Great bunch of people there yourself, including also, don't forget about Peter Blake, who has a show on Mondays and Wednesdays. He does the Sports Web along with Harry the Greek and several other guests that he has on his show. All right, guys, let's get started with today's show. We're going to talk about all 10 coaches. We're going to break down each one of them, the new coaches in the NFL. And also we're going to break down, PENSMAN has some stuff from the Olympics that he wants to post. He'll be putting some of that stuff up as well. And we'll be talking a little bit about baseball season getting started and each one of our baseball teams and also college basketball, what's going on there as well. So we got a lot to talk about today. All right, first let's get started. New York Giants, John Harbaugh. PENSMAN, start with you, John Harbaugh. Go ahead.
Well, I predicted that Harbaugh was going to go to the Giants because of he was going to I'll take care of that. So
Yeah,
Yeah, I predicted that. Yeah, I predicted that he was going to go to the Giants because of the Jackson Dart situation. So we'll see what happens in New York. New York's still a dumpster fire. Still needs to figure out what to do with that offense and figure out how to get back to New York Giants football into the winning Giants football like Eli Manning days. So we'll see what happens there. So it's a good fit. We'll see what happens. New York Giants picked the best candidate that was available at the time. They snatched them up, so it was a good move by the Giants. Let's see if they turn around and make giant football again.
All right, absolutely. Okay. They have Matt Nagy from the Kansas City Chiefs and the Chicago Bears as their offensive coordinator. Leo, go ahead. John Harbaugh, Matt Nagy, offensive coordinator. Go ahead.
That's the most important hire. When you're hiring the head coach and you're the general manager owner, the first question you want to ask is, are you calling any side of the ball? Are you calling the offense or the defense? If not, who's you going to hire? And Matt Nagy is a good fit. He's been through developing young quarterbacks. John Harbaugh is a special teams coach. He's an organizer. A great hire. Now let's see if it works.
Yeah, he's got a good defensive coordinator too. Denard, I don't think he's a bad coach. So we'll see what happens with John Harbaugh and the Giants. Next, Stefanski and the Atlanta Falcons. All right, here's a rehire from the Cleveland Browns. And I've said this many times, change of atmosphere might do somebody some good. Stefanski might do better here because he has better organization and better tactics to work with. So let's find out what Stefanski does here. All right. He's hired Alex Van Pelt back as his offensive coordinator. I'm very surprised at that because a lot of you have watched my shows, have heard the story that I heard about him and Alex. But now I guess they're getting along. I guess they agreed to get along to work together in Atlanta. All right, start with you, Leo. Go ahead. Kevin Stefanski.
Well, that's your only way back into the NFL. Then you better kiss the makeup. And let's be honest. Stefanski took Cleveland when Baker was healthy to the playoffs. They destroyed Pittsburgh and came within one play of beating Kansas City. So I don't think it's a question of whether this guy can coach. The question is, will he have the tools to create a roster around him with the help of the general manager? And they're in a division that's winnable right now. In fact, it was a three-way tie last year. So, and they lost, I think, 4 games in overtime and won the last 4. So they're going in with a little bit of momentum into next season. Let's see. And they got to decide what to do with Kirk Cousins. Once that's done, then they can figure out. I think they're going to release him and just say, okay, it's Michael Penix. Let's make it happen.
Yeah, also, you got to I think the Atlanta Falcons are kind of doing like a Pittsburgh Steeler kind of thing. What they're doing is they're bringing in a coach who has some experience in the NFL and bringing him in to work with Michael Penix, which could have. Stefanski's a good offensive mind. You got Alex Van Pelt down there. That could happen. Kirk Cousins is probably going to be on his way out the door. Where he goes, I don't know. But I don't know if anyone wants to absorb that salary. Tiger Stripes Media says good morning. And let's see, Cam M has some things to say about the Ravens. And Zillow has said, thank you, Zillow, for your comments as well. All right. Let's get Pensman, your thoughts on Kevin Stefanski, the Atlanta Falcons. Go ahead.
What Leo said was accurate and everything to a T, but we'll see what happens down there. You said what you said. That's your catchphrase. And so far, everything you said was accurate about the people moving to different atmospheres. We'll see what happens with Kevin and Michael, see if they can gel together. Let's see if they can do what Kevin and Baker did. So we'll see what happens. The Sports Nuts, Brandon Keeler is happy about Stefanski. And you guys forgot that Matt Ryan is also on the management board as well. So we'll see how Matt Ryan puts this team together. So it's going to be interesting.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And, a lot of the national pundits out there, our fellow media colleagues out there, there's a lot of them out there really criticizing hiring Matt Ryan. Well, he's never been in the front office, always been as a football player and a broadcaster, and he really wasn't that great of a quarterback. I mean, of course, you're going to have your pundits out there that are going to say things like that. and and whatnot. So that's what's happening there as well. So
I got 2 words to tell you what Matt Ryan is going to be like. John Lynch. Everybody said, John Lynch, what a terrible hire. Guess what? He wasn't. Matt Ryan knows football. He's been there and done that. Look for the Atlanta to really start to improve in the next year or 2.
Okay, I want to apologize. Alex Van Pelt did not take that job down in Atlanta. Tommy Reese is his offensive coordinator. So Alex Van Pelt did not take that job. So and I want to apologize for that. Jeff Yorbrick is his defensive coordinator. That's not a bad hire. Bill Callahan's his offensive line coach. Bill Callahan's one of the best in the business. So I think Atlanta might not be too bad this year. And like you said, Leo, and you should know with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, this division is up for the taking for anybody at this point. So
4 games in overtime. I think 3 in overtime and 1 on a missed kick at the end of regulation. But this team could have very easily been 11-6 and really done some damage.
Okay, here. I want to apologize again. Alex Van Pelt is part of the staff. He's the quarterback's coach, not the offensive coordinator. So Tommy Reese is the offensive coordinator. Alex Van Pelt is the quarterback's coach. So I want to apologize for my wrong information there. And when I'm wrong, I always come out and tell everybody I'm wrong. Next, Jeff Hafley, Miami Dolphins. We'll start with you, Pensman. Go ahead, Jeff Hafley.
We'll see what happens with that. We'll see how that changes out. But Tiger Stripes Media has a question for all of us. That's the question right there. With all the new coaches, who will be out in the next 5 years? And I think he's gonna. I think he'll be out in the next 5 years.
Hafley?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Hafley's the one that has the least experience being a head coach or any kind of a well, other than he was the head coach at Boston College. All right, and then he coached on Dave Wannstedt.
Yeah, but you see how you see what Boston College does. You don't hear about them.
Yeah, you still don't hear about him. Even with Billy O'Brien up there, you still don't hear about him.
Yeah, Boston College who?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, there you go. You are correct on that. Go ahead, Leo. Your thoughts, Jeff Hafley.
Everybody's looking for the next Mike McDonald. Everybody's trying to get that. And we're seeing people hiring these young head coaches. I think he's going to be okay. The biggest problem is, what are you doing with Tua? That's the biggest thing. You got to decide that. And if I'm the head coach, I'm getting rid of Tua only because that extends my lifespan. Because if I keep Tua, I got to win now. If I don't, I got some time to develop somebody.
All right, yeah, I've got to tell you this much here. Miami staff features Bobby Slowick. Now, those of you who don't know who he was the offensive coordinator with the Houston Texans, and that's why C.J. Stroud will not be as good as he's been over the years. Bobby Slowick is their offensive coordinator, and they also have Joe Barry as one of their returning coaches. Joe Barry's a pretty decent coach, but the rest of them I'm not real sure about, but that's Jeff Hafley's staff at this point. So just to let everyone know that as well. So, all right, let's get into our next one, and that is Robert Saleh, Tennessee Titans. Leo, go ahead. This is another redo, another second chance. Robert Saleh, go ahead.
Well, you got to throw out his time with the Jets. That was just everything that could go wrong did go wrong. Again, you got to find an offensive coordinator down there for Cam Ward. You're a defensive guy. We've seen what you can do defensively in San Francisco and in New York. You got to get somebody on offense to score points. That's the key. His hire as offensive coordinator will be huge.
And guess who it is? It's Brian DeBoer. So there you go. All right. Again, a bad head coach, but is a good offensive coordinator. Look what he did up in Buffalo. Go ahead, Pensman.
Well, like Leo said, just throw out what you did in New York. You had Aaron Rodgers, but Aaron Rodgers was good with the Pittsburgh Steelers because Tomlin was there. If Mike McCarthy and Aaron Rodgers gelled up, that probably would be a disaster, even though it could happen this year. But what he did in New York, it was a disaster. Throw that out the window. Everybody that goes to New York is a disaster because the Jets are the Jets. So, but we'll see what happens. Like we said, let's see two New York coaches going to different atmospheres. Let's see what happens. It should be interesting. Tennessee has a good defense. Let's see if Brian brings back and gets Cam Ward like Rodgers material or Patrick Mahomes material, or I don't know. It could be. We'll see what happens. It's gonna be fun here in Tennessee, so we'll see what happens with that.
Okay, here's something Saleh did smart. He hired Gus Bradley as his defensive coordinator. Gus Bradley's a very good defensive coordinator. So, Gus Bradley being hired.
He could have had Terrell Austin, but he didn't.
Yeah. I don't think anybody wants Terrell Austin. I think he's still unemployed right now. Luke Stalker is his tight ends coach. Luke Stalker is a good coach. Greg Lewis is his wide receivers coach. And Randy Jordan, now look at this. Randy Jordan is running backs coach, and he's the Bill Walsh Diversity Coach Fellowship coordinator. So, I don't know about all that, but there you are. That's Robert Saleh and some of his staff. All right, let's go into the next one. Jesse Minter, Baltimore Ravens. Leo, go ahead.
Here's the one guy that I think is on the hot seat because they've had success down there. Again, they're the number one program in the NFL that have lost leads in the fourth quarter. Well, guess what? They've had leads, so they're playing well. He's got to win now. I don't think he can win to Baltimore and end up 8-9 or 7-10. He's got to show win right away because everybody's saying what was holding back Baltimore was not Lamar Jackson. It was John Harbaugh. Now we're going to see if that's the case. And he's got to win. And he's got to win now.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yes, he does. All right, let me see what we got here. All right, Jesse Minter. Let's go into this a little bit here. All right, let's see who his offensive coordinator is. All right, let me look here. Eddie Faulkner, former Steeler running backs coach, is his running backs coach. And also former assistant to the assistant in the movie theater, offensive line or offensive coordinator after they fired Matt Canada. So, all right, let me see who they have here. I don't recognize some of these people, so I don't know. Declan Doyle is our offensive coordinator. I've heard of his name. Lou Esposito is their defensive line coach. Now, I've heard of Lou Esposito's name floating around in the wind. But Lou Esposito's pretty good. And I guess Eddie Faulkner, we're all familiar with. Joe Lombardi, senior offensive assistant coach. Wow. Joe Lombardi. So there we are. We'll see how that works out. Your thoughts, Pensman. Go ahead, Jesse Minter, Baltimore Ravens.
Jesse Minter is an awesome, phenomenal coach, but can he actually be a head coach? He's a good defensive coordinator. He's a defensive mind. He was with Michigan, won the championship as a defensive coordinator. He was with the Chargers, defensive coordinator. Every success he's had, defensive coordinator. But can he be a head coach? Yeah, this is where he all started, but he wasn't there very long. So we'll see what happens with him. Hopefully his defensive coordinator position job helps him, but he's got the Steelers, he's got the Bengals, he's got the Browns. I don't know if the Browns are going to do anything, but we'll see what their season looks like and who their opponents, but I don't see them going anywhere. We'll see with Lamar Jackson, like Leo said, that John Harbaugh and Lamar couldn't get together well and perform well, but we'll see what Jesse does in Baltimore, but I don't see it. I think he's going to be on the hot seat in the next 5 years.
All right. Yeah, well, so do I. And, a lot of people are against this. We'll find out. I'm going to see if I can get Mike Sistak to come on. He covers the Baltimore Ravens for Impact Sports, talk about what his thoughts are on this. All right. Cleveland Browns, while we're in the AFC North, we're going to tackle the Browns and the Steelers. The Browns have hired Todd Monken, former offensive coordinator of the Baltimore Ravens and a former college and high school football coach, who he coached at Auburn and several other places. All right, his let me see here if he even has one. An offensive assistant and offensive line, Sanders Davis. I have no idea who that is. Tight end Christian Jones. I do know about him. Let's see here. Deuce Staley is his running backs coach. So we'll see what happens there. So let me see who else we have here of any notoriety here. James Cook is his senior director of player development. I've heard his name floating around. All right, so that's about it. Monty Gibson is another good one there. I've heard his name floating around. Other than that, I don't see too much of anything for Todd Monken here at this point. Go ahead, Leo. Your thoughts on Todd Monken, Cleveland Browns?
Only the Cleveland Browns can screw up another head coaching hire. You had Jim Schwartz in the building. Why didn't you lock him up at least to be your defensive coordinator? Those players play hard for him. You could have elevated him to head coach and had no problem doing that, but you decided on Todd Monken. Okay, fine. Now you've alienated the one side of the ball that's really well. And you know what? If I hear anything else about a media member asking about Shedeur Sanders, this is a fifth-round draft pick. When's the last time a fifth-round draft pick was even talked about? Now they're talking, well, they got to give him a chance. They don't have to give him a chance. They can even decide now, okay, is he our quarterback or not? Or let's get in. You got Deshaun Watson, no matter what you think about him, he's coming off an injury. He'll be healthy. You'll have some competition. Let's see how that plays out.
Yeah, I know. That's amazing what's going on with that there. But Pensman, go ahead. Your thoughts on Todd Monken and the Browns?
I think it's a disaster. They should have hired Jim Schwartz. I think they should have hired him. They should have had Tim Monken as a defensive coordinator. Bringing him as head coach was a desperate move. What they did to Jim Schwartz was like they pretty much cutthroat him, being like, okay, you're finished. Thanks for your service. But they have Deshaun Watson, they have Dylan Gabriel back there. We'll see what happens there. Browns are the Browns. That's Tim Monken's just going to be another coach on the list that they got rid of in the last 19, 20 years and the next 2 years.
All right. Pittsburgh Steelers. I told you we're going to stay in the AFC North and then move on to others. Mike McCarthy. All right. Now, I do want to say one thing. Mike McCarthy, and I found this out from a couple good sources of mine, took a pay cut to come here to the Steelers. He wanted to be with the Steelers. That's number one. Number two, he wants to win a Super Bowl. So he told Art II, I want as many coaches as I can to make this successful. So this is the biggest coaching staff in the history of the Pittsburgh Steelers. You have offensive coordinator Brian Angelico. They kept quarterbacks coach Tom Arthur, who was supposed to move on. Offensive line, they went James Campton. Running backs coach is Ramon Sheong Sr. Adam Henry's their wide receivers coach. And then executive offensive assistant senior, Frank Signetti Jr. We'll see how that works out. He didn't do too well second stint at Pitt. And, a lot of people are not very pleased with him. Game management and quarterbacks as well. I like this game management guy because something Mike Tomlin never had was a game management coach. All right. Also, defensive coordinator Patrick Graham. I'm hearing the defense will be better under him. He had some talent in Oakland or in Las Vegas and a few other places. Defensive backs Jason Simmons, Scott McCurley, inside linebackers. He's a familiar name. Go ahead, guys. We'll start with you first, Pensman. Your thoughts on the Steelers and the coaching staff. Go ahead.
I wanted Brian Flores to be the head coach, but
so did I.
We are not the head coach. We're not the guys that hire and fire people. But Mike McCarthy was a decent coach in Dallas. But let's face it, who wants to deal with Jerry Jones? So we'll see what happens. Can Aaron Rodgers and Mike McCarthy work if Aaron Rodgers comes back? They had success in Green Bay, but Mike McCarthy was the offensive coordinator as the Packers at the time. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I know about somebody's mic being messed up. You don't have to tell me. Thank you. I hear it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do, but we'll see if this is gonna be. He's not gonna be a Mike Tomlin and set the world on fire. So I'm just let everybody know that now. So,
all right, Leo, go ahead. Mike McCarthy.
Well, Mike McCarthy is a bridge to get to their next long-term coach.
Yes.
And the bottom line is, if Aaron Rodgers doesn't come back, what's plan B?
Will Howard.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
The biggest problem. You know, what are you doing? And I think Aaron Rodgers would be a good fit for a year as you finally decide whether, Mason Rudolph, what's going on, how we doing? Because if they don't have an established quarterback in there, the way that defense has definitely gone south lately. And
Yeah,
the biggest thing McCarthy has to do, get that defense back to Pittsburgh Steelers defense, where people come in there and they were scared to death to play that defense. Now, it's not that the case. So, let's see. Again, it's like anything, like an aligned Hoosiers. Give coach a chance. Let's give him a chance. See what happens.
absolutely. I think it's going to be a pretty decent 5 years here with Mike McCarthy. And Smoking Jim and I called this. We wanted him as a coach for bridge coach purposes. And yes, that is what's going to happen. He's going to be a bridge coach, and they're going to develop somebody of a younger stage, bring him in, and move him up. That way they don't have to worry about going out and getting a new coach. And this is the last hurrah for Art II, the owner. He wants to get his own Super Bowl because the last two Super Bowls, one that Tomlin won was Dan Rooney was still alive. And then also the one that Cowher won was Dan Rooney was still alive. So Art wants to get his own Super Bowl, and Mike McCarthy could be it. I think it will be. I think we're going to see some good things out of Mike McCarthy. I believe that to be the case. I wanted Brian Flores too, Pensman. I did. I really wanted him. He was my number one candidate, and I even said Mike McCarthy too. And I'm glad they didn't hire any of those other guys right now, because I don't think any of them were ready, or else they would have been hired. All right, Buffalo Bills, Joe Brady. All right, Leo, go ahead. We'll start with you, Joe Brady.
That hire wasn't done by Pagula. That was done by Josh Allen. They wanted somebody to keep that offense rolling, and that's the key. Buffalo's offense saves them, and they've got to do something there. Well, the biggest thing is they got to stay healthy. They get people hurt right and left. The only team that had more injuries than them last year, I think, was the Baltimore Ravens. It was just like catastrophe after catastrophe. But he's going to have an immediate impact because he and Josh Allen are on the same page right now. Now, you just got to get to a point where how are we going to get that defense back up to snuff so we can get through? The Patriots are going to fall back. They're not going to have the season they did last year. But is Buffalo going to take a step forward? Joe Brady is going to keep that offense rolling. Now it's a matter of that defense going to step up as well.
All right. Here's some. I'll tell you what, though. Brady has assembled a good staff. Bobby April III. Those of you who don't remember, Bobby April was a great special teams coach with New Orleans, and then he came to coach with the Steelers. And remember the onside kick in the 95 Super Bowl with Dallas? That was Bobby April and Bill Cowher. All right, so Bobby April III is the outside linebackers coach. But here's the one that really had John Fox is their senior assistant coach. John Fox. Those of you who don't know John Fox.
Yeah. He's definitely a senior.
Yes, he is. Yeah, he's been around a long time. Yes, he has, Pensman. You're right. All right, and Mark Lupick. He's been around a long time. I've heard his name in circles. And he has a few other guys here I'm trying. I think he has a few other guys listed here that aren't bad hires. John Ukawoku, inside linebackers. That's a good hire. And his offensive coordinator is Pete Carmichael, and his defensive coordinator is Jim Leonard. Go ahead, Pensman. Your thoughts, Buffalo Bills.
Joe Brady got some good coaching staff. We'll see what happens. Josh Allen, whatever Josh Allen wants, this is his team. They probably went to him and said, who do you want out of all the coaching? And that's probably who he said. We'll see what happens. You got the headset on now. We'll see how you act. Your name might be good, but we'll see how your coaching is. And I don't know if you saw this. Zilla says, I wouldn't predict that so fast, Leo, considering the Patriots are unpredictable.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I can predict that right now. You never stay the same in the NFL. You either get better or worse. And just look at this for next year. There's 5 losses on there right away. You can go that one, that one, that one, that one, and that one.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Can I say one thing? Drake may look like a rookie quarterback in the Super Bowl. He looks scared.
Oh, he got exposed.
Yeah, he looked scared. He was panicking. Oh, man.
Here's the thing, guys. I can't believe that New England didn't go into that game with 2 rookie left offensive linemen and say, if they can't hold up, what's plan B? And they just had no idea and no plan on how to go. I think their plan was, we got to turn Seattle over at least twice to keep the score down and to get some extra possessions and some cheap points. That's the problem. They had no plan. And we saw what Drake May was. He was a second-year quarterback. We saw that. We knew that was coming in. Why? And we talked about that on the show. Why does no one else see this? He's going against the dark side. And he had not played well against Houston, did not play well against Denver. Why did they think he was going to play well against an even better defense?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And you know what? They got exposed. And that's just the bottom line. Arizona Cardinals. Mike LaFleur. Not Matt. Mike, his brother. Former offensive coordinator with the LA Rams. Another McVay coaching tree. We'll start with you, Leo. Go ahead, Mike LaFleur.
Figure out Arizona Cardinals right now. Who's it going to be? And you need to sit down and have a come to Jesus with Brissett, and you need to have a come to Jesus with the little guy. And again, all we're hearing now is that Kyler Murray is just not the prototypical quarterback. Well, you know what? Prototypical quarterbacks can still survive in this league, but they got to figure out if he's their guy. And if he is, you got to go all in, because right now they're in purgatory. They don't know who their quarterback's going to be. Once you decide that, then you can move on. And you know what?
Might be Jacoby Brissett again.
You need to decide that. That's the big thing. And again, another team, there were 2 games where they had just the stupidest plays I've ever seen that cost them games, where guys dropping the ball before they went over the edge. I mean, you got to be kidding me. And wins are so vital in the National Football League. They come down to 1, 2, maybe 3 plays. And that was the problem with the Cardinals. They couldn't. Plus, they're in the most difficult conference division in the NFL. You got to play Seattle, Los Angeles, and San Francisco twice. You could be looking at 6 losses.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Pensman, go ahead, and then I'll name off their coaching staff. Go ahead.
See what happens, but they got to figure out what they're doing with Kyler Murray. We'll see what happens there. We'll see how it acts. We'll see. Like Leo said, tough division. They got to play the San Francisco, Seattle twice. So I think they're going to be in the top 10 in the draft pick next year. So I just don't see Arizona going forward. I think they're actually making a step backwards, in my opinion. So,
yeah. Where do you see who their offensive coordinator is? You ready? Nathaniel Hackett.
There you go.
Nathaniel Hackett's their offensive coordinator. Now their defensive coordinator is Nick Rallis. Nick Rallis is a pretty good coach. And I'll tell you who else they have on here. Chris Cook is their assistant offensive line coach. Very good coach as well. And let me see. Ben Steele, tight ends, not a bad coach. Matt Feeney, outside linebackers. That's a good hire. Let me see here. Who else do they have? Kyle Simmons, or Salmons, sports science coordinator. I don't know what. I never heard of that position. But here's the key one. And this guy is one of the best in the business, both in college and in the pros. Their conditioning coach is Buddy Morris. And if those of you who don't know who Buddy Morris is, he was once the conditioning coach for both the Steelers and the Pitt Panthers at one time. And he's been around the league all over the place. Buddy Morris, great conditioning coach. He was under Dave Wanstead at Pitt and a few times there at Pitt as well. So great guy. He'll have him pushing buses up hills and stuff like that. So, I mean, he'll get him in the shape.
Let me throw this out at you.
Go ahead.
Daniel Hackett has a great relationship with Aaron Rodgers.
Yes.
Reach out.
Yeah, that would be an interesting thing. Yeah, they might have to because we don't know what Kyler Murray's made of, and is Jacoby Brissett going to come back and save the day? I mean, so we'll see. All right, last but not least, because he was the last one to be hired, Las Vegas Raiders, Clint Kubiak. Go ahead, Leo. Start with you, Clint Kubiak.
He may have been the last to be hired, but I think he may have been the first one to be decided on. I think the Raiders made that decision very early and just said, we're going to wait this out. And now they're looking really good because they got the guy everybody would have wanted, the offensive coordinator off the Super Bowl champion. You turned a reclamation project in Darnold into a Super Bowl winning quarterback. That looks good when you walk in, you sit in that room and go, hey, nobody wanted Darnold. We did. And all he did was take us to the Super Bowl. I can do that with you guys. Let's just sit down and figure out, okay, who are we taking in the first round, first pick? Well, we're taking the Indiana quarterback. There's no doubt. And then this is the guy. Now, we got the running back. We got the quarterback. Let's get some wide receivers. And let's try to make a realistic number. Let's win 6, 7 games, maybe 8. We're not going to turn it around like New England did because we're going to have to play Kansas City, Denver, and the Chargers twice. And Kansas City is going to come back loaded for bear. Denver is there. The Chargers are there. So we may lose 4, 5, maybe 6 games in the division. But let's get better. Let's get to a point where we're winning 6, 7, 8 games.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And you know what? That's better than what they have done. I want to thank Zillow for his comments. I also want to thank some of the other ones here, even though some of them Cajun here, Sundown, Tiger Stripes Media, and a few others. Go ahead, Pensman. Your thoughts, Las Vegas Raiders.
Leo, everything you said was accurate to a T, but you're forgetting one little detail. And their quarterback is Kenny Smallhands, Kenny Pickett Smallhands.
Geno Smith, too, I think. Geno Smith is still there, too.
Yeah, so. I know about Geno Smith, but Kenny Pickett does have Super Bowl experience, even though he took a kneel down in the last minute. But that, according to people, that's still experience in the Super Bowl, even though I disagree with it. But the Raiders are going to be the Raiders. I'm telling you, like you can have, if John Madden was alive, you could bring him back. The Raiders are going to be the Raiders. They can't. I don't know. Will Clint get the Raiders back to Raider football? I don't know.
Okay, the
Raiders. Remember, Smallhands is quarterbacking.
The Raiders are interviewing current Seahawks wide receivers coach Frisman Jackson to be their offensive coordinator. Their defensive coordinator, on the other hand, they are looking at Rob Leonard as their defensive run game coordinator. Defensive coordinator could be that guy. And Mike McCoy is going to be his assistant head coach there. So Clint Kubiak's putting together at least a little bit of a decent staff. We'll see where he goes the rest of the way because he's just getting started right now because of the Super Bowl. All right, guys, overall grade on these coaches. Start with you, Pensman. Go ahead.
Get a couple D's, couple B's, A
Okay.
on some teams. So,
All right. Leo, overall grade.
I will give everybody a B+, and here's why. We don't know how they're going to do. NFL, it stands for not for long.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You're going to have to. You got a 11 teams record. They're never going to stay the same. They're going to get better. They're going to worse. I'm going to give them all a B+ because right now we're all hypothesizing on how these guys are going to be, and that's the key. Let them coach. Let's see what happens. I mean, the one coaching hire we didn't even talk about that may be the most important is Sean Marion with the Eagles going to offensive coordinator.
Yeah, I forgot about him. Yeah, exactly.
Huge hire, but as head coaches, let's give them a chance.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And we're going to find out what happens with the Eagles. I hear stories Vic Fangio might be stepping away. He might be retiring. So if he retires, their defense might not be as good this year. We'll find out. Nick Sirianni's really got to go out and do some hiring here. He loses his coordinators again. He don't want to do what he did the last time and end up in the doghouse with Jeffrey Lurie, the owner. So
I got a question for Leo quick. You think Jalen Hurts and Sean will be good for each other?
Yeah, I do. Now, they lost Stoutland, the offensive line coach, because there's a whole different philosophy that Sean Marion has. He's an outside zone guy. Right. And I think Stoutland and them have a little bit of disagreement, so he decided to retire or step away, whatever. But again, the biggest thing with the Eagles is that offensive line has to stay healthy. When they lost Mickey Becton that went to the Chargers, and there's rumor they're trying to get him back, and Lane Johnson got hurt, the Eagles couldn't run right. They couldn't run to their right, and everybody knew it. You were seeing stacked line. No matter what the formation was, that defensive line was shifting to their right because they were going to take away that run to the left.
Right.
All right, let's look at the Eagles real quick here before we move on. All right. New defensive coordinator Sean Mannion, as we mentioned. All right, Josh Grizzard is going to be their pass game coordinator. Ryan McAfee is the run game coordinator. Tight ends coach is Chris Cooper, or Chris Cooper's their offensive line coach. Tight ends is and he's also the tight ends coach. We'll be keeping a few of his own. Jeff McClain will stay, and Jamal Singleton, Aaron Moorhead. Those guys will stay. So the Eagles are looking like most of his offensive staff, except for offensive coordinator, of course, will be staying. So,
wasn't he the offensive coordinator with the Bucs last year?
Yes, he was. Yeah, exactly. So, and the Buccaneers this year, they got Zach Robinson from Atlanta, and he was once the pass game coordinator or the offensive or quarterbacks coach under the McVay. He coached under McVay in L.A. So the Steelers wanted to interview him. Instead they chose Arthur Smith, and of course you see where that went. So,
Ralph, can we jump ship here for real quick? And
sure.
What's going on with Chambliss down at Ole Miss?
Go ahead.
The judge has now ruled that Chambliss is going to get another year at Mississippi.
I see that.
And the NCAA, for once, I am not throwing them under the bus. All they are saying is he didn't do this properly. He should have applied for this 3 years ago for that extra year. Okay, great. The fact that Ole Miss didn't get after on this right away. This should have come out right away. As soon as he signed in, hey, we want to get him an extra year. Well, they didn't think about that because Lane Kiffin was thinking, hey, this is my last year. I could care less. But Trinidad Chambliss, he should have gotten a year. But now the problem is if you allow this to happen, now you're going to open up the floodgates.
Yeah.
Now you have the quarterback at Vanderbilt who's saying, well, I played junior college. That shouldn't count. He's going to find a lawyer somewhere down in Tennessee. He's going to find a judge in Tennessee that's going to grant this injunction. If the NCAA can't set rules, what good are they? But Trinidad Chambers, I understand it may not be your fault, but it's Ole Miss's fault. Ferris State, they didn't apply for it the first year. They did apply for it the second year. But you need to start looking at this and saying, okay, what are the rules? Can Magic Johnson come back and play at Michigan State because he's got a year left? Can Larry Bird come back to Indiana State? Can Michael Jordan come back to North Carolina? Right now, yeah. This is getting crazy. If the NCAA has no power, why are they there? The conferences are going to have to figure this out.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And you know what, Leo, I agree with you on this. The NCAA has to get some kind of structure. And I've said this 1,000 times over, and I'll say it 1,000 times over again. They have to get some kind of structure here, or this is going to be a runaway freight train at it again. Pence, your thoughts on this?
It's going to be interesting. I don't know. I think they need to fix it. I think the judge needs to clear things up. It's a bad situation for schools. They just need to fix it bad. Like, they need to clean it up.
All right. Zillow's been putting up some good ones here this morning. The Eagles have pretty much done pretty well. I'm not going to say much here other than I respect them in the playoffs of 2026. Now we'll see where they go. The Eagles go to the playoffs this year. It'll be another good coaching job by Nick Sirianni. He saved his job by going to the Super Bowl last year and winning it. So we'll see what happens there in Philadelphia. All right, Mike or Pensman, you have some Olympic stuff you want to share with us. Go ahead.
Well, USA women and men are taking over. They are dominating. But I want to share this out right now that Livia just beat Germany 4-3. So that is a huge upset. If you guys don't know, Germany is like one of the top teams in women and men's thing. USA's taking over. Canada's starting to get their legs together. They're beating Germany as we speak. Like I said, USA won yesterday, beat Italy. That's how they move on. Sweden, they beat Slovakia, whatever. They beat them. So it's going to be a good – I'm looking forward to it. It's winding down. I've been posting a lot of stuff on my channel, all the videos and stuff like that, highlights and all the results. So take a look at that. But I just want to let you know that Germany did lose 4-3. And that was a huge upset. So Germany was supposed to win, but they ended up losing 4-3. So it's a good tournament, men's and women's. Respect what they do. And Schofield's wife scored yesterday, so she was happy about that. So I just want to point that out as well.
Hey, Pensman, I have a question of you.
Go ahead.
Is Italy in it in men's hockey because they're the host nation, or are they good enough to be in?
They're good enough to be in it.
Okay.
All right, guys, let's get into some announcements here. The triple header Ralph Williams Saturday continues this afternoon, 2 to 3 p.m. every Saturday, 12:50 a.m. The Answer 92.5 on the FM dial and the Answer PGH.com. The Sports Corner Radio Show with me, Ralph Williams, Smoking Jim Frazier, Claudia Rosano, and Luther Dupree. So don't forget to tune into that later on this afternoon. Also, don't forget tomorrow and every Sunday, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., the Sunday edition of the Ralph Williams Show. Here we go. All right. And also don't forget, too, on Wednesdays, and I'm going to share this with you as well. And I have a very special announcement to talk about today, too. But also on Wednesdays, don't forget about the Ralph Williams Show. This weekend on my Philly show, my guest will be Tony Moreno, former Pittsburgh police detective and former mayor candidate for the city of Pittsburgh. And the reason I'm having him come on is because I want to educate everybody about what's going on with Jason Ritchie, who's running for lieutenant governor. We'll talk about that Wednesday on 860 AM WWDB in the Philadelphia radio as well. Okay. My biggest announcement right now is, if I can find it here. All right, let's see what we got here.
What's
All
going
right,
on,
my
Mad?
biggest.
What's going on, Mad Yinzer? Mad Yinzer just showed up.
Oh, Mad Yinzer. How you doing there, Mad Yinzer? And RM Dizzle says what's up. So RM Dizzy, how are you, RM Dizzy? The Mad Yinzer, how are you? It's great to see you. All right, glad you're here today. All right, guys, let's let me look at this here. Okay, here we are. Ralph's Opinion Show, which is normally on Wednesdays, on my YouTube channel and my Facebook page and my Twitter X channel as well. But coming tomorrow, or coming on Monday on KFCE, which is a KFCE radio, 95.5 in Terrell, Texas, every weekday, Monday through Friday, 1:00 p.m., the Ralph's Opinion Show. All right. So we start this Monday, President's Day. I have a great opening broadcast for you. Don't forget to tune in. KFC Radio in Terrell, Texas. Get on their website. Check it out. You can tune in. They play some great music, and they also have some great shows on there. I will be on there, and all my sports programming will be uploaded on weekends on there as well. And also, this show and every other sports show will also be on the Fan First Sports Network and also on Draft Nation. As soon as I get a banner from them, I will have their stuff up for them as well. So just want to let everyone know what's going on with RW Media Productions and everything else as well. All right. Let's do final thoughts here. Leo, start with you. Final thoughts, and tell everybody how they can get a hold of you.
Well, we got the Lightning on hiatus for the Olympic break. And for the Lightning, because Russia doesn't have a team, a lot of their players get a 2-week rest, which is great when you look at the Lightning. Vasilevsky, Kucherov, they're not going to have to play. So, and again, it's sad that they're not allowed to play. They should be. They should allow the Russians to have a team, some way, shape, or form. Just go out there under the Olympic flag, whatever. But we've got nothing but hockey. USF, men's and women's are away. The women are down on their Texas swing. They're down at the UTSA today, and then next week they go to Rice, and Rice is undefeated at the top of the schedule. And the men, they're away as well, and then they get Florida Atlantic again. They're at the top of the AC, so we're starting to see that happen. University of Tampa, basketball doing okay, nothing great to write home about. The Sun, they're back, the Women's Professional Soccer League, but everybody else is pretty much on hiatus. You know, you got the Bucks. The Rays just brought pitchers and catchers in. Tomorrow, the full squad gets to report. And you got the Rowdies. They'll open up in March. So it's pretty much a slow week when you're looking at what's going on with Penn-based sports. But, hey, check us out at Amped Up Sports on YouTube, all over the place. Come and
All
enjoy.
right. Okay, thank you very much, Leo. This show will also be uploaded on the Amped Up Sports as well. Just want to let everyone know that as well. And all my sports programming, including it will be uploaded on there as well. PENSMAN Sports, go ahead. Tell everybody they can get a hold of you. Final thoughts before we wrap it up here.
You can find me on YouTube and all social media platforms. Just want to point out, and I wish Brian Pettit was on here because in an hour, Duke and Clemson play in an hour. So I was hoping that he would be on. So
be a dog right there.
I want to hear his I wanted to hear his opinions about that game. Miami of Ohio. They won last night, so they're still undefeated. 90-74 last night's victory, so they're still undefeated. What's going on with that team that they're so good no one can beat them? So can they be a threat in the March Madness? Is this just a season game or what? So that's what's going on. That's my final thoughts. Just point out that Miami of Ohio is still undefeated.
And I wish Brian was on too, because I think they were looking past Virginia Tech to Duke and got beat at Little John.
Yeah.
Thank you, Zillow. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
So anyway,
You hear Leo said about Virginia Tech?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. What was that, Leo, about Virginia Tech? Go ahead.
I think Clemson was looking past the Duke and lost to Virginia Tech at home.
Oh, my gosh. Wow. Jeez. How do you do that? Oh, my. You laid an egg, Eric. Pitt, it happens to be at Chapel Hill tonight, and they're going to get slaughtered by North Carolina. So they have not been doing very well under Jeff Capel. I don't know what's going on with Alan Green, the athletic director. He promised to make changes, and nothing has happened. I keep hearing about buyouts being too high and things like that, which was set up by former athletic director Heather Lyke, who couldn't find her way out of a paper bag. And but Alan Green, I urge you, or I think you should step down if you don't at least fire Jeff Capel at the end of this year. I think you need to step away because this is unacceptable basketball play. So in fact, this week they did a comparison of Jeff Capel and if Kevin Stallings was still the head coach of the basketball team for Pitt, would he have done what Capel's doing? And Kevin Stallings would not have turned down the NIT bids. And if an NIT bid gets turned down again this year, this will be the third one in 3 years that Jeff Capel's turned down. He stopped the city game against Duquesne, which of course was a big landmark game. Okay, Alan Green, I'm telling you, it's time. Pat Bostic, I'm looking for you. You're on the broadcast team of the football team, and you're also an athletic director. Why in the world are you not burning up Alan Green's ear to get him to get rid of this Jeff Capel and get rid of Pat Narduzzi? What is going on here, Alan Green? What's wrong with you? You promised to make changes, and you've done nothing. And this is your second year. Come on, Alan Green. Wake up.
Hey, Ralph, I'll throw out at you. It may be a money issue. Maybe they don't have the money to buy these guys out.
Yeah, I think it has to be that, Leo, because how in the world do you let poor coaches continue to coach? I mean, it's just it's unacceptable to me. And it should be to everybody in the Pitt alum. If I'm the Pitt alum, I'd start putting some money in this thing. Go around with a hat and collect. And say, hey, look, I need to, if you really want these guys out of here, collect.
Yeah, Franklin was time to go, and they just said, hey, we'll pay him.
Yes.
It's got that option right now, but we're going to see. You're right. You got to go to the alum and say, hey, who's willing to pony up? If not, shut up.
Instead of building a brand new baseball field up at the top of the hill at Pitt, what you need to do is the Petersons need to get together because they're obviously the richest of the alum. The family needs to get together and buy out Narduzzi and Capel's contract. Forget about building buildings, you know what I mean, or fields or whatever. I don't care, But that's just my thoughts on that. You can reach me on RW Media, Ralph Williams, RW Media Productions. I'm also on the Sports Nuts Network, which all my sports programming is here. On Amped Up Sports, as well as Fan First Sports Network and Draft Nation. Also, you can check out my YouTube channel. I need 5. I repeat, 5 more subscribers to make it 2,400. Please help me out with that. Twitter, X, Facebook, Tumblr. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Instagram. I'm on all over the place. I want to wish everybody a very happy Valentine's Day today. All the sweethearts out there. And I want to wish everybody Monday, President's Day. And I know for a lot of people, you go out for President's Day sales, but President's Day is a very important day. It honors our presidents, past and current, that are, in our country right now. So for PENSMAN Sports and Leo Haggerty, I'm Ralph Williams. Until next Saturday for the Saturday Sports Show, have yourself a great one. Until next week, please be safe. Thank you.